I've always felt different. I've always seen things, but when I tried to express them as a child, I was always told to ignore it.
There were people that I didn't know that came to me and said, I have this message that I keep getting that I have to deliver to you.
All of a sudden, out of the shadows, a homeless man just jumped right in front of me. And he said, I'm a soul just like you.
I love it.
I wanted to understand the universe and who and what we are and what are we doing here.
We're all part of this amazing soul wave tapping into each other.
This was a major life changer.
You are a light. You have helped me a ton. Thank you.
You've given me the courage to live more from my soul.
Millions of people are awakening. So wake up with Michele Meiche. Be pleased to hear the best-selling authors and experts in the fields of cutting-edge self-help, personal growth, metaphysics, and spirituality. The soul path of awakening. Understand what living awake is.
Woohoo! Hello, everyone. I see people in the chat. I see people on the phone listening. Hey, if you're new, I'm Michele. Never know what to expect with me. Whoa, I love this intro. I was just thinking of Diva Danielle, amazing DJ and video and audio editor who did this intro with submissions from people that listen to Awakenings, Awakening listener participants, as I always say. People send in clips of their own messages, and my words are tied into there. Danielle, good. Diva Danielle is in there also, and it just, oh my God, I would just say how appropriate, apt of the times it is, and especially in the intro, her saying more and more people are awakening or waking up, and that is so true in all sectors. Welcome, everyone. It's really, really wonderful to have you here. If you hear me clinking around, I'm getting my decaf latte with oat milk, putting it in my frother, my milk frother, getting things going. You're going to hear pitter-patters in the background because I have little monkey and Dorje, a little Yorkie terrier, little teacup, and a Chihuahua. So they're going to be moving around, I'm moving around, and that's how we go. It's just like being in my living room. Speaking of that, living room, we are migrating part of the podcast to YouTube. So I'd love it for those of you who haven't yet to subscribe to Awakenings with Michele Meiche on YouTube, Michele Meiche Podcast. So it's been a dream of mine for a while. Jacqueline is helping me do this, which is really great, and some of you have already subscribed and listened. So the replays are there now. Some oldies, some of you are new listeners, so you perhaps haven't heard some of these oldies but goodies. And also, if you'd subscribe to Soul Insights and Tarot with me, Michele Meiche. So really wanting to get a community, got some great things coming up in the new year with people really wanting to step forward and connect. And I want to tap in to, and that's Monkey. No, I'm not going to be playing with the Bali. She is relentless with this little plastic ball. With panels, some things that I did back in the day was when I was very active on Twitter, and I was doing actually even tech conferences and talking about consciousness, spirituality, and awakening, and the convergence. This is all happening. And I love those times because I did a lot of sharing and talking with people that were not metaphysically or spiritually inclined. Some of those people have later now become more metaphysically and spiritually inclined, baby steps, yoga, meditation, some of them even becoming more intuitive or using their intuition and creativity. And back in that day, I was saying we're moving from consumerism to creativism, and that is the level of the soul, which means that's all of you. It's time for everyone to step up. And a great place to do that is also the Awakenings group on Facebook. One of the moderators, Teresa, started a chat. People have been talking. I can't express how important it is that each of you in your own way speak up more, put in your 2 cents, share how, what you're going through, what's working for you, what doesn't work, what works, what are your realizations, your understandings. I talked about a little bit of this on Instagram. That's another place. If you want to, first of all, if you want to do a deeper dive into metaphysics and spiritualism, connect with me on Patreon. We do a monthly with a Soul Path Journey tier. We meet monthly. I post quite a bit, at least, I guess, 3 or 4 videos a month, and a lot of extras. And plus, you get 20%. Anybody that's joined Patreon, 20% off my, workshops, online workshops. So a lot of you do my workshops. And also connect with me, follow on Instagram also. I just did a tiny little post. I'm going to talk more about it, how we're moving into the age of the individual. You're going to see next year a lot of collapse with corporations. Monkey, if you keep barking, I have to put you in the other room. I might have to put her in another room because she's not like my little Yoshi was, who was trained. I'm just babysitting, who knew, like, it's podcast time, it's client time, it's session time, hypnotherapy time. All she knows is she just sees me sitting around or walking around a lot in different parts of my house. So it's like, oh, well, you're still here. You're not. You can play with me. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but I'm going to be doing deeper dives into this. Divine Mystic, it's winter solstice, her time. Yeah. Hi, Divine Mystic. Hi, everyone in the chat. This is going to be shown by Pluto in Aquarius, which is co-ruled by not Uranus, but Saturn. Saturn, the traditional ruler. This is a time for new forms and structures to come into place as we have further collapse, especially at this critical 29 degrees of Pluto. And then it goes into Aquarius, and then it retrogrades back, and then next year it goes into Aquarius, I believe, for 20 years. So this is a huge 20-year cycle. You're going to see a lot of change next year. If you thought 2020 was the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, just get on ready. And when I say that, and I've talked to this a lot on Patreon and also my Soul Insights and Tarot videos on YouTube, some of the preparation, a lot of it is also mental, emotional when you see things coming. Like I knew with eclipse happening, where it was happening in my chart and what signs 2 years ago, I knew my Yoshi would be passing. I mean, she was at that kind of age and stage going through stuff. I shouldn't even say age, but health-wise. At 16, she was going, but I wanted her long, she could have been 2 more years longer, 3 more years. But I knew by the aspects, and so I prepared myself as much as I can. I still was devastated and still am devastated. That's why I haven't gotten another little doggy. But I'm like Mary Poppins, metaphysical Mary Poppins, taking care of the little ones here, the little loves. But there are also things that you can do mentally, emotionally, repatterning, clearing up stuff. There's different ways, and this is why we have divination. This is why we have these various tools at our disposal, is to help us prepare and is to help us get in with the flow, which is going to be part of the what I'm going to talk about today. And I feel like a lot of people are still in resistance, and that is psychologically, that is a big part of how we change in the process of change as human beings. We tend to first resist. That's it, and it's also 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. But if you know what's going on in the process of change or the cycle of change or loss and change, then when you go those 2 steps back or 1 step back, it's all about reinforcing or making sure there's a better foundation. And you have to look around in your life and go, okay, is it material? Is it financial? Is it physical? Is it emotional? Is it mental? Is it spiritual? Is it emotional? Especially usually it's emotional, the energy in motion. Where do I need to prepare? Is it my body? Is it my health? Have I been feeling sluggish? Do I need to, I don't know, get a physical? Or is there certain herbs I need to take or supplements? Or do I need to walk more or exercise more or run more? Or am I doing too much and I need to pull back and go within? Or do I need to reach out more? Do I need to network? See, we are the reflecting consciousness. We are the reflecting consciousness of the universe or universes. There's an energetic intersection. We are one huge vortex or creator cell, one huge chakra. And so we're a portal for life force energies, animating energies. What's animating energy? That means alive. Everything is alive, even your car. Everything has a level of consciousness and some level of awareness. You know, there's been stories, and I know I've had this personally in my life, where, cars don't quite match, so you get another one and it feels right. My cars always last a long time. I'm like reticent to change them. They become like a second shoe for me, second pair of slippers. But I always have great luck with cars. Only one time I didn't, when I didn't listen to my intuition. I got kind of taken advantage of someone. But I righted that wrong. I made them take the little lemon back. But they can feel your love. They can feel your connection. So can your material possessions, because they are an extension of us. That's why we are so much into materiality. What we wear, how we look. It's a vibe. It's an extension of our soul through the material plane on this earth plane. So taking care of oneself, form of self-love, self-care, enjoying, and depending, you can go back to the chart, astrology chart, depending on where, if someone has a lot of air in their chart, they may not be as grounded or into the physical aspect of their being, right? Someone definitely with a lot of earth and definitely, with water would definitely be, more with those natural, elements. So really important to understand your own flow at this time and to understand how to connect into it. That's another biggie. How do you understand your own flow and connect into it? What is your flow? It is a vibrational frequency. Make no mistake about it. When we talk about flow, and, a lot of times people think flow is, I'm just so peaceful and relaxed, or it's slow. Things are slow. No, you have a fast flow, choppy flow, a flow with a lot of the unknown, sometimes a lot of known, and too much known brings, drudgery and boredom. Not enough of the known can bring anxiety, right? So think of yourself as a fractal, okay? The shape and a form as a fractal, or a sacred geometry, or even really what on a soul level we're a spiral. The ego is a circle because it's finite, but the soul expresses and experiences through a spiral, this mortal coil. We've known that. I don't know if that was Shakespeare, I think, that coined that term. Correct me if I'm wrong. I love the band, This Mortal Coil, who's no longer together. I think they went on, I can't think of the other bands they formed, but Filigree and Shadow, an amazing, I digress, but an amazing CD. If you can find it. That was my go-to thing when I was traveling a lot. I'd have my, earbuds in and just walking around, just listening, being transported. Amazing musicians and amazing writers. But think about this coil, this immortal coil. So we descend into matter. That's the metaphysical axiom. We descend into matter to see what matters to us. And matter, or matter, mother comes from matter, is the earth. What matters to us on the earth plane? What matters to us? What is the matter? We get into the matter, right? The prima materia is the matter, the fodder for our expression. It's not just the earth plane. It's all that makes up this earth plane, this dimension. All the experiences, expressions, all the learning, all the growth, all the sharing, the gifts. And so we descend, and so in a way we are the all that is, or God asking that living question. And we are the question, we seek, but we're the answer, and we keep finding. And that's how the universe, grows and expands and understands itself, or God understands itself. The living, breathing aspect of our being is always in a continual flow, Now, what happens, Divine Mystic CD, filigree, I'll put in the chat, filigree and shadow. It's an oldie. And the group is This Mortal Coil. Okay. So this is the path. And now what's happening is we're becoming, as there's more light, enlightenment, right, is information. Light is a form of information. More people are awakening to advanced, not yet totally advanced. I mean, some people are having some advanced awakenings that are pretty, amazing, pretty in-depth. But the path now is in the descension, is the ascension. No, that doesn't mean people are leaving and going to another dimension. It means that the reality and the understanding, we're ascending into that or up into that above, out of the extremes of the polarity plane. We're ascending. That's the ascension, out of the extremes of the polarity plane, out of the extremes of duality. So, just put the little munchkins in another room. So how is it to live more consciously? It's been only for the few, but the game is changing. The lie of separation, what we call the original separation, you hear about it in, biblical texts as the original sin, but sin comes from the word sin or san, without. So it's without the connection to source energies, or feeling that there is not a connection to source energies, that you always have to go through a mediator. So this is the time we're approaching more and more. It's like a renaissance of having direct experience and connection with source energies as an aspect of source energies, and having that understanding. It's very powerful. This is why certain, let's say, factions, because on the earth there's always the duality, right? There's the opposite polarity. One wants awareness and enlightenment, freedom for all, one doesn't. And there's that push-pull until we find that middle road, and we no longer need to live out the lower octaves or harmonics of expression that are based on separation. Power over, underpowered. This is the true empowerment. The true power and empowerment is our understanding of the creative principle as us in all parts of our life. No matter what the circumstances, there's always a creative aspect or way of expressing. So when we get out of the extremes of polarity, then you're going to have less extreme situations. And that's what people are kind of being prepared for, now. That's kind of been the beginning of, the extreme or extremity. This is why we have to be very aware that things like AI, and, those of you know, a bit of a techie, but on my license plate, techie mystic, have to be aware that these things augment reality, but they are not consciousness. Consciousness will always be ahead, and consciousness is always unfolding and is a step or two or many steps, an infinite steps ahead. And whatever that AI is, or AR, augmented reality, which I really do prefer rather than just virtual reality, it's helping the reality. But the truth is, many, many people, and a lot of you listeners will be in this situation, are actually going to be augmenting your own reality by higher vibrational, higher dimensional, higher frequency, meaning more expression, experience, and expansion, more information coming through the light waves, where you are accessing your own extended abilities, right? You're tapping into your own abilities to transcend limiting consciousness or separation consciousness. The idea of either or. You're moving into that and position. Now, a big part of that is Divine Mystic. Oh, you're welcome, Divine Mystic. Good to see everyone. callers, hold on. I'm going to be tuning in, and Paolo will be here. If he comes on sooner, I will get him in the chat sooner, or in the online. 347-539-5122 is the number. 347-539-5122. Press 1 on your keypad if you have a question. Okay, so just to wrap it up, so I can get to callers, what does it have to do with flow? And this, to me, this winter solstice, the energy of this time, right, the darkest day, darkest hour, the point of darkness, which is the point of going into the potential, the possibility, the void of becoming. Now, I would tune in, tonight. I mean, it's perfect that we're doing this at, 12 p.m., the center of the day, is that the awareness now also on the 20th with Jupiter going to Aries for a short period of time. Then it's going into Taurus, and we're going to have, Jupiter conjunct Uranus, which hasn't happened in I don't know how many years. Is it 80, 100, 200 years? I don't know. It's a lot. It could even be more. And which in our lifetime we won't experience that again. So it's very powerful. You got the North Node in Taurus, Uranus in Taurus. Then you're going to have Jupiter moving into Taurus, I believe, in May. So the preparation is, while Jupiter is now back in Aries, it's connecting into your own faith and belief in yourself, your path, and getting support. What do I need? Aries is the I am. Some people say Aries, a lower octave, is the baby of the zodiac, because it has a lot to do with self, the identity, the body, physicality, me. It has to do with me. What about me? But that's important because we haven't been asking that question in the right way for a long time. A lot of us, on a family level, and we've been taught it even on a societal level, that to martyr oneself, not think about oneself, right? Don't think about yourself. And especially if you have abilities. Oh, you'll make it. Don't worry about yourself. Or, help your brother, help your sister, help this person, help that person. And so there's been a lot of self-sacrifice, but the shadow aspect of that has been, what about me? Like, okay, if I do a lot for someone or some group or some company, then it'll come back to me. But it doesn't in a more polarized world, because you have the selfish people, the people that are very self-directed, and those that are very other-directed, focused on other people or other circumstances. We need a rebalancing where those that are more other-directed need to integrate some of the self-directed energy, and those that are self-directed or overly self-directed need to integrate what we call psychologically being other-directed, thinking of the other. So it's been inverted. So you have the time now with consciousness to go within and literally insert yourself more in your life. What about me in this situation? What about me? What matters to me? What do I want to do? And bring that in your negotiations, whether it's within yourself, your own belief system, family, friends, work environment. Some of you, if you're working for a company and you don't have to, but you don't take you stay over, you keep working during lunch, or you don't take a lunch. Stop that. What about me? Get out, go for a walk, go sit in your car, go in the lounge, call someone, do some meditation, do some yoga. Go visit a garden center or, a garden or something, right? You've got to start out, what about me? What about this part? What about me mentally? What about me emotionally? What about me physically? What about, you've got to ask those questions right now and integrate that, because you are a living question of the all that is, of God. And you have to answer your question. That's what we're here to do on a soul level. It's as simple as that. And there's many ways to do it. But when we don't ask that question and we don't live from that place of expansion, of including ourselves in our own life, it gets acted out in non-life enhancing ways to also very, very ugly or detrimental ways. just really non-harmonious ways of the soul self crying out. And you got to also, some people in this dimension aren't connected to a soul or don't have a soul. Not everyone has a soul. They have a blueprint of who or what they are, but actually having, and you can see it in the eyes, the deadness, whether that's been cut off, disembodied soul. You can see it in actions, but you can see it in the eyes, the not connection. So as we expand in consciousness, we attract differently. What does that mean? It means that we attract differently individually, and that affects the collective. So I'd say mitigating consciousness. Some things don't have to be as extreme if we awaken or we waken up. It's just like in health. If the doctor keeps saying, if you keep doing this or keep eating this, this is where you're going, and you can see it in the test results. You can see it how you feel. You can mitigate that. You can step in. So understanding our individual flow, our personal flow, and aligning to that aligns us to the universal flow, which aligns us to the best timing for what is going on universally through this earth plane, this dimension, and for us individually. And one way I do like to do that, thinking of things I want to do or need to do, and just pausing, whether standing up or just sitting down. I close my eyes. You can do it now. And I think about it. And if I can feel an opening in the heart center, in the chest, if I feel a lightness, then it's the right time or timing for that. I'll feel a movement. If I don't know what to do first in my day, or I've got a lot going on, or I'm really overwhelmed, I literally will stand up. Usually I come in my living room or healing room, and I just feel the energy. And I'll walk. I'll walk around my house, or I'll go outside and walk around until I feel the direction. It's really going to be important for everyone to begin to access your information through your body more and more. It's like a tuning fork. Our bodies, right? You can dowse, you can do muscle testing through the body. We have to bypass the lower level mind, the beta consciousness, to then get to the higher consciousness through the body awareness, and then come back through the higher mind once it's cleared out. Because why is that? Because we're clearing a lot of beliefs, ideas, principles, mental constructs that were made to contain us or hold us back. Or let's just say they were not very life-enhancing. They were not very much pro-support for the individual or our uniqueness or being a soul. They were basically constructed to kind of be for the masses or to be herded in a certain direction. And so that's a part of the awakening. As you're seeing that in education, more homeschooling, more parents even making their own collective and having their own board, their own school board, their own charter, because they're realizing, hey, my kid's in school 8 hours. They don't really need to be in there. It's like a babysitter, and I get it. Sometimes people need that, or parents need that, but there can be another construct for that, where it's really nurturing and enriching the child, and their true needs and wants and their mind. So you're seeing people waking up, even statistically, with how people work remotely. That's actually working at home or working remotely. And I already knew this from when I was doing a lot of hypnotherapy, for medical doctors, and also for corporations, for companies. There was already research in, I don't know, was it late 90s, early 2000s? I don't know what that got buried, but I had copies of it, that people are, the last hour to 2 hours, people are on social media, or they're on Facebook back then. Why? Because they've already got their work done. Most people aren't slackers. There's people that take advantage and that are slackers, but most people are not. Most people get a pride in getting the job done and well done and doing it, in their way. So why should they have to stay longer if there's nothing to do? Busy work. I remember sometimes doing retail, and you'd have to look busy. This woman, I remember I was going to school and I'd be on my computer, and then the owner of the store, this boutique, I took in between when I got back from Europe, and I was building my practice up. And I wanted something mostly to structure my time, and I didn't want to dip into my savings. And she'd come in, everything was done, and she'd come in the back door like sleuthy. And I was good with my sales. It was a high-end little boutique. And she'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing? You got it." And I'm going, "That's done. That's done." Well, and then, "Oh, that's done. That's done." And I didn't even talk about lunch because I would, nobody was there. It was by the beach, so it was a nice little area. And then finally, she's, "Well, you can't be doing your homework here." And I'm like, "Why?" Carolyn was her name. "Carolyn, why? I'm done everything. No one's come in the store. I already made a couple sales. It's slow." "I'm not paying you to," but I go, "But I'm done." "Okay, but I have to be here." Finally, she let me do it. But then shortly after that, my boyfriend at the time was like, "Michele, you really don't need that job anymore." And I go, I know. So that's going to be changing, but it's changing with the help of all of us. All right, let us see what's happening. Lynn, higher Aries octave is the birth of the new divine human. Lynn, I like that. Lenny, I like that. Yeah. Because in Aries, you are here to find out about you. Right? It's and that Jupiter brings in the idea of spirituality, higher consciousness. It can bring excesses in. So if you're really connected on an ego level to yourself and you're not really able to extend or expand, beyond that aspect, yeah, it's going to bring a lower harmonic. Now, when we get to Taurus, we move from that I am, that exploration into what I have and what I want to manifest. So really important the next few months, I think, to put some energy, into that. Lynn put in the chat, the divine human. The Jupiter in Aries, here's some key kind of words or phrases let's think about, like growth, expansion, spirituality, belief, faith, growing and improving oneself, and being self-assertive. Looking for opportunities, opening up to opportunities. It's not aggression, but it's definitely assertiveness. It's asserting oneself in one's life to extend or expand in consciousness, awareness, love, light, and wisdom. And what does all that mean? That's how we live and experience and express on this earth plane. So those are the areas: love, light, wisdom, consciousness, awareness. That's where the expansion is. So it can also bring a lot of restlessness, but it also brings a faith in oneself and a faith in one's, it's cardinal, so it's initiating. There's an initiation. You're going to have to initiate something. There's a new direction. There'll be an initiation. And it's going to show you what you are. I am this or I am not that. That's the fixed on the polarity. I am this, I am not that. Or you are this and I am that. But what comes in the inspired action is that we are one. I am this, you are that, but we are one. And we are one. So it has the potential to bring in unity, unification. It connects us into radiance or our light, our soul light and the light of the world. So divine mystic, good to know, yeah. All right, guys, let's see. I don't see Paolo yet. He might come on later. All right, let's get to first caller. Hi, you're on air.
Oh,
hello. Hello.
Oh, hi, Michele. I was waiting for your guest.
Oh, okay. You want a question? Okay, I'll wait. I'm going to text him and see when he's coming on. All right. Bye. Hi, you're on air. Hello.
Hi, I'd like to ask Paolo a question.
Oh, okay. Well, wait then. He's not here yet. Okay. Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle. It's Teresa. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? I mentioned you earlier.
Pardon?
I mentioned you earlier, moderating an Awakenings Awakenings
yes, I
group.
Did hear that.
And I don't know if it was you or Lynn, or I think you starting a chat and people connecting. How'd that go, by the way?
It's a little slow now, but I'll put a message out for people to start connecting again. I will do that this afternoon.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Did you have a question? Or are you waiting for Paolo also?
No. I have a question, idea, and I have a chance to submit a book proposal to a publishing company, Hay House, in April. And my book is already published, and that doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with that. But my idea for the proposal is, since astrologically it's going to really be Aquarius when Jupiter and all goes into Pluto goes into Aquarius, that we're looking to ourselves more and our own powers. And my thought was to do a proposal around the heart as our superpower, because it is the seat of our soul, but it also governs our entire body, all the energy, all the vibration. So that's my idea. It just kind of came to me. And I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on that, if that's something that...
I like that. One thing I would add is, yes, it is a lot about us, but you're going to see a lot more collaboration. I call them the COs. Connection, collaboration, communication, community, all those COs, which always imply another person, right? Even conspiracy, right? That COs implies another person or persons, as in community. And now the reason, how do I want to say this? The shadow aspect, or it's not really shadow, because in the shadow you can also get your gifts. It's not always the quote unquote negative or non-life enhancing. But in the old Piscean with the self-sacrifice and the lower octave of the Aquarius energy, it brings cults, it brings groups that don't allow autonomy. So we have to shift that. We see that even in family dynamics, where people aren't allowed to really have their own sense of self, their sense of identity. It's the family. You're the family. Years ago, I knew someone, and as a kid, they told me this story when they were 16. They didn't want to cut their hair. They were growing their hair out long, a guy, and he the shoulders or whatever. And the father said, you're representing the family when you go out. He was a professor at a school. And then the guy pushed back, and then he said, well, it's not your hair. It's the family's hair. I was like, but we have that idea, right, that you have to, you can call it an identity, over-focus on identity or identity politics. So there is that extension of the individual expression on a soul level, and then connecting with others for shared purpose, more fulfilled living, higher meaning, life or inspiration or particular goals, without losing oneself or having to amalgamate into a group and losing one's, I don't even say identity on an ego level, but uniqueness, right? And what I like what you're talking about, because you know that by how you feel in the heart or in the chest. I mentioned that earlier about finding your flow, standing or sitting and feeling that in the heart chakra, in the chest area. When you're thinking of doing things and there's a tightening there, timing's off, not right timing, I don't know, you don't have the energy, you don't have the focus, something's going on, and that part of the body is speaking and saying the time or timing is off. And that's why they say seat of the soul, because you get into soul alignment when you trust that center, all the centers, but specifically the heart. So yeah, I think it's great what you're wanting to do and bringing in the heart, because that's the soul. It's the soul, right? Operates by resonance and coherence, frequency, vibration, and the coherence and resonance of the being. So Yeah. I think that's exciting.
Yeah. Do you get any messages about it from the guides? Like if it's
as
something
far as
that
what's
they
your question? Like, okay, let's see from them how it fits in.
Yeah, is the proposal something that they're looking for, or is it
now
something
that's a deeper? Okay, that's going to be a deeper reading to see, like what's on trend. I can tell you generally that anything with the heart is good right now.
Okay.
Like feeling the energy of something if it feels right. When do you have to have it by April? I feel you do need to flush it out. Okay, let's look. Yeah, it is showing you a need to kind of flush it out more. Yeah, mood, emotions.
I just came up with the idea.
Oh, no wonder. Okay.
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
My book is published, and, I go into some of those things. But I thought with this, if I could get it accepted to this publishing company, I could do more, really get more into, I would then change it, some of it, tweak it a little bit more with the energy and the vibration of the soul and things like that.
Okay. I think that's, you might do a little poll even in, on your page and even in Awakenings, as to what people are needing or being drawn to. Because I feel like you just came up with, it feels like there's a little fleshing out. There's going to probably thinking about it, writing, and then a little bit of space. Something will come in with more clarity. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Just saying. Sorry, got Divine Mystic has to take off. Yeah, so that's what I would just say kind of quickly, tuning in a quick tune-in. I'd have to probably put more to really align more to more specific as to what's coming up, because I'm not really in that focus right now with the guides.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Yeah.
What I'll do is even book a session with you to talk about it further.
Yeah, and right, because I do feel like this next book that you're taking, I feel like there's a change in what you're going to write, or weave in. There's some editing. I don't know. There seems like there's a different. Even though the book's published, I feel like there's a little change. Maybe it's to tighten it up more, or pull it in, or a cohesive thread of something, a message of what, a more cohesive message that wants to come through. That's going to be your talking point, right?
Yeah, and that's, because I've been delving more into the superpower of the heart.
Okay, so so there's something where you need to really tap into that and make that like a cohesive, like thread all the way through, and yeah, we'll talk about it, but that's what I'm getting, because it's opening up to much more within that question. But you're definitely on the right path or right, track with it. Definitely.
Okay, I do appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for calling in, Teresa. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Okay, those of you waiting for Paulito, I did text him, see where he's coming on. Sometimes we have a lot of people in the queue. I don't see... so let's see everyone. Okay, let's see. Hi, you're on air. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, you're on air.
Hello.
Hi.
My name
What's
is
your name?
Filson.
What is it?
Filson.
Filson.
F-I-L. Okay. Hi.
Okay.
I just had a basic question about like what's coming up for me in love, if that's possible.
Okay, Filson. Okay. Well, first of all, I get somehow you're hampered or held back by your environment, or you need to get into a different environment to meet someone. So it could be your neighborhood. Maybe you need to get out of the neighborhood a little bit. Go for areas or people or situations where there's either more depth or spirituality. It almost feels like, Philson, like you were in another group or another area, like almost like you've grown or you have different interests than you had before. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you're kind of in this gap where the old people. What?
Where I've yet to kind of start the new.
Exactly. Yeah. So what's happening is your old group neighborhood approach is not in enough alignment to draw someone in that's now on the level that you're in. And sometimes what you can do is just somehow get out of your comfort zone a little bit, change up your routine, your pattern, go in a different area, different neighborhood, different whatever, cafe, wherever you go to different, gas station, subway station, bus station, I don't know, whatever. You got to change it up a little bit and look for things or people or situations or areas that kind of interest you, or you feel like there's a little bit of mystery or curiosity there, like, oh, I wonder what this is about or where this is. So I feel like, you definitely have to change up the energy a bit to then start drawing in those that are more aligned to you and where you are now, right, your energy. I feel once you do that, then it's going to be easier to attract or meet someone. So it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take some months here. Let's see what's coming up. Well, it could be more towards the summer to fall. Dating. Yeah, different approach, different people. It could even be people that speak another language or a little bit different than you somehow, or they're more involved in spirituality or higher learning, education, some level of growth, or studying something. It could be a group that you get involved in, even online, in person or online. But that's where you need to go because, the old is not doing it, right?
Right. Yeah. It's not.
No, you shifted. That's the thing. You shifted, and because of that shift, you have to get in a different environment. It's because everything we have to manifest on the denser physical level, the complex of vibrational frequencies has to be expressed or experienced also on the earth plane. So when we shift mentally, emotionally, and it takes a while for it to sink into the physical to attract differently, right? It's like someone that eats a lot of junk food and they're happy with that. Let's say fast food. Let's not even call it anything bad. Let's just say fast food. And all of a sudden now they start getting to nutrition and health, and then they look around, they realize, oh my God, there's a lot of fast food restaurants around where I live, or there's not a health food store or market. I have to go in this other area or other neighborhood. And so then they start attracting differently. And a lot of times maybe that person even moves and says, oh, I want to be around where there's less fast food or, whatever the thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to give you an example. Yeah. So that will definitely help you by switching it up a bit. Okay. All right.
Yeah, that resonates. Thank you.
It resonates? Great.
Yeah.
All right, Felsen, take care. Hello. You're on air. Hi, you're on air.
Hi, Michelle. It's Amla. How are you?
Hey, Amla. I know you probably want to talk to Paolo. It's been a while. I don't see him on. I may have to call him. I hope everything's okay, but he might not. Sometimes when we have a lot of callers, people calling in, I don't see, and listening, I don't see the whole, thing. Anyway, did you have a question for me? And then I'll see.
Yeah,
I'll cycle back through. Oh, you do? Okay, cool.
Okay. Can I ask the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of changes since, I would say, the fall of this year. And I was just wondering, when do you feel or sense like me needing soul supportive people? It's kind of like the last caller. I'm like, you got to go in a different area, and I am.
Yeah.
It's just right now, I feel like the universe is just like, not now. It's like everything is not now. The Mars in retrograde and Mercury being in retrograde in the next month, it just doesn't feel like there's a lot of flow. So I don't know what you feel.
I'm going to say well, there is flow, but you bring, and I was talking about that. That's a part actually that I kind of skipped over in the individual or personal flow to the universal flow. If you're getting that not now or tightness in the chest, or the chest isn't opening and feeling kind of buzzy about something, you're not feeling like, oh, I can do this now, or this is the time. You kind of feel
the universe
the
is definitely testing me. Yeah,
the
universe is like, no. Yeah.
No. It's your higher self. It's your higher self, because sometimes we're leaning too far in one direction, and the timing is off. Time or timing is off. So if you're feeling delays or held back or blocks, or something almost happens but then it doesn't, then you have to, that's when I pull back. That's why I was giving those two examples of what I do to bring myself in alignment, because that means my ego functioning part of me, the part that keeps the status quo going, the part that does things like, even people that say, oh, I get up early and I go for a run, I do this or that, if they're constantly doing that routine, they're on autopilot. The soul cannot, So, but we all, but that part of our inner psyche is meant to happen that way. But we've got to sometimes break that and go, what's my true flow right now? It might still be the same thing. So I feel that's what's going on with you, is you're getting, I almost see your body kind of going back, like standing up, going backwards, forward a little bit, like swaying just a little bit, front and back, trying to find this portal. What's the right alignment to your individual flow that syncs you into the universal flow?
Right. Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, I just was wondering, that's why I'm thinking, my birthday, I figure that the birthday is like your new year, and I just had it 5 days ago. So all this stuff, this junk is coming out, which it has been in the last month and a half, but last week was very super climax point. Everything was just coming out, in a good way, just purging. Yeah. And then this week is kind of like you were saying, the swaying thing, because I feel like I'm on the verge of end of mourning and going into surrendering mode. That's what I feel like in my body, in my mind and soul. So I just was wondering, do you feel like in January it might be opening up more?
Well, a little. I really feel for a lot of people it's going to be a little bit mid to end of March and April, May. Those are when I feel the bigger, I really feel it's the spring, summer for many people. Okay. And again, this also coincides with the eclipses. And then I would say some people a little bit September, and then end of October, November. So I feel those are the waves that people are on. Yeah. The peak moment. Yeah, thank you. Good way. Yeah. So there's more alignment, but it's also a lot of people could be alignment of what they need to do or not do on a physical level, mental, emotional, more human level. But for a lot of people, it can also be the alignment is happening on the subtle energy. It's happening in the quantum field of consciousness, the unified field of consciousness. So, and because we are working more. I'm back. Amla, are you there?
Yeah, I am.
Just as I was talking about the higher frequencies, the phone fell off the table.
That's funny.
So that's what I would say. I know, right? I do see Paolo coming in. So if I have time, I'll cycle back through.
Okay.
All right, Amla, you take care.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Okay, you too. Big hug. All right. Hello,
Okay.
Paolo, you're on air.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hello,
Happy
hello.
solstice.
Yes,
Happy solstice.
right?
Yes. Let's
feel the
Phoenix
energy
rise today. The Phoenix needs to rise today. It's our opportunity to take what our mind and brains are saying and listen to our souls and soar. Take these opportunities and bring them up to the front and move through these our belief systems that are causing us to stay at the same place. How's that?
Oh, I love that. Yes. Wow. That's what it feels like. This tiny window. That's quite big, but it seems like it's like a small little window or portal that when you then look in or you put your hand, it's like, oh, it's bigger than, oh, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger, it's getting bigger. I think this is a very small, and many people might think insignificant, passage, moment, portal, hole that's bigger than it seems.
Yes.
Yeah?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, I agree. It is. Because these are the winter solstice is the most powerful time to turn things around. It's our opportunity or window of reassessing our lives and taking our issues, what's in our life right now, first of all, to be grateful of these issues that are giving us the opportunity to work with them. We're not really identifying with these issues. We're using them to be our vessel to move through. And this is the time to do it. This is the winter solstice to do it. And so that's what I would like to make aware to everybody. This window is an opportunity to move through your beliefs. Your beliefs is what's keeping you in your life the way you are now. And it is to be great. You would be grateful about that to now have the opportunity to move through it. That's what I'm saying.
Powerful. And that so fits in also with the Jupiter in Aries, all about beliefs. What are you expanding in your life? And Jupiter opens us up, because it's ruled by Sagittarius, to the higher beliefs, the highest spirituality, our understanding of something, the cosmic even, universal. But what you're saying, too, we have to shine the light. There are these lower level beliefs, less life-enhancing beliefs, limitation, and whatever we're being prepared for, all these little breadcrumbs, all these little, strings of light guiding us through the subtle energy, these decisions are I feel huge, going to be very impactful to when we start making more of those definitive decisions and directions and opportunities come up. But I agree with you. It's what's been holding us back. The beliefs, the limitation, the mental constructs that we've created from the former paradigm are holding us back from getting into the, e-ticket ballroom, the big ballroom.
There we go.
Right? The big concert hall, Paolo, right? It's like...
Great. Yes, it's true. It's true. Because we're here, and what has brought us here, we need to be thankful of that. Whether it was a rough road or whatever kind of road it was, it brought us to this point. And so this gives us the opportunity. So we're still here. We're now able to understand something needs to be altered if there's issues in your life. If there's keep creating, then you need to see these patterns. And the winter solstice is a time to say, aha, I'm going to give. It's like taking the biggest vacation from yourself so that you can see yourself fully. It's the elders are saying, okay, we're going to give you the opportunity to make a difference in your life, to take whatever your issues you're working with to make a difference. And the universe is supporting you at this time. So go for it. We're giving you the green light. Go for it. And I feel that way. I feel that this is the time. And if we all focus on that, my God, what a change we can bring to this planet.
Right? I think that's the realization. Yeah. Individually, as we come together, we do make a difference. Now it's about living that way, not just in a tragedy or when something happens, out of the blue, we come together. It's like, no, let's do this on an everyday basis. Paulo, speaking of coming together, we have some people that would only want to talk with you. Only want to connect.
No, really?
Are you up for that? Yeah.
We'll
see.
Little
yeah,
me.
let's see.
Oh, boy.
Let's see.
Hey,
you're on air with Paolo.
Hi, I wanted to talk to both of you.
All right.
Phone went out again.
What's your name, darling?
Valerie.
Valerie. Hey, Valerie.
Hi.
My phone's going nuts. What's going on now?
Mine just fell. Paolo again, but this time it stayed on. Okay, is this Valerie? Hi, Valerie. Boy, we got some energy now. Phones are flying off. Disconnected from the switchboard. Oh, my God. High vibe. Okay, here we go.
I don't know if my ego says, well, it's because of you, and my mind saying, no, it isn't. Just get over it.
We'll come together to BuzzFeed. All right, Valerie, you've got it. Go ahead. What's your question?
Yes, I want to see if there's going to be a significant increase in finances because there's some other home projects I'd like to start and complete. And I don't know if that would entail getting a part-time job, maybe a remote.
Okay.
Or perhaps the universe is saying, hey, here's the money.
Okay. I think if you do that, the money will be back of you. It'll come. You don't focus on the money. Focus on your passion of what you want to share with us or share with the world or share with the people here. You know, if you have something you really want to give us, well, we're ready. We want it. We want you, Valerie. We want your decisions and your creativity and your love for this planet and for us.
Well, I wanted to go back into my field. I've been out of it for a while, and I really love the work, but I don't know if that's still open.
Well, you won't know till you do it, right?
Right, but I was just trying to see what your psychic hit was on it.
My psychic thing is you ought to go for it. That's what I'm saying. You've been held.
Yeah.
Not only that, I think it's a metaphor for you've been holding yourself back from being your total who you are for some reason. You've been kind of, I think, regenerating and trying to get through this craziness that's in the universe. And I don't think that should be the reason you are holding back. You should go forward and shine and give us your light and give us your love and give us your creativity. Because no one's you, Valerie, but you. And that's what we want. That's why you're here. You hear what I'm saying?
Right. Yes, I hear.
Yeah. I concur. Step forward. By the way, the Jupiter and Aries energy, which is between now and I think it's May 14th, don't quote me, but I think, is about initiation. So there are going to be things that we need to initiate. We need to be assertive. Remember I said not aggressive, but assertive. So we do need to, if you're driving and there's a little space and you need to get in that lane, put the blinker on and go for it, Don't wait. So, it's falling into that energy pattern, I feel, for you, Valerie, it's the initiation, like Paolo's saying, it's the go for, because that's going to signal to the universe, I'm ready, green light's over here, this is green, not just yellow, and definitely not red, this is green, I'm ready for the opportunities. So we all need to be signaling. Yeah, we all need to be signaling the universe and each other. Let's do it. I'm down for that. Let's try this. Okay, let's do it. So
the only reason I wanted to probably take up maybe a part-time or a remote is to, like I said, do some projects in the house that I want done. It's not a necessity, but these are wants.
Yeah, but see,
that's fine. You can have right? You don't have to have necessity. Yeah. You can have wants and needs. That's my mantra. I attract all that I need and want for fulfilled living. I attract all that I need and want, not just need, but want.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
all
okay.
Right.
Wants are fine. That's what we're here for.
But in my 73 years of experience of this planet, The needs are already taken care of, honey, or you wouldn't be here.
Oh.
So I don't focus on the needs. I focus on my passion. What do I want to do while I'm here? What do I want to share while I'm here? What's the best part of me that can give to the best part of you and everybody else? The other stuff, let it fall away. It takes care of itself. It really does. You know, you have to give the other parts of the universe to do other things. They don't need to call it and focus on me, is what I'm saying. I got that. I just want to share my passion. And I think you have a lot of passion. You have a very big heart. You're a very big, loving person. I can feel the love coming from you. And that's power. That's power. Well, we need the power. Mother Earth needs the power now, honey. Get out there and power up. Get out there.
All right, sweetie. We're going to take off now, Valerie. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Take
You're
care.
welcome.
Hello, who's this? Who's on air? Who's here?
Hi, this is Katie.
Hey, Katie.
Hey.
You're on air with Paolo.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved everything you said, of course, before. And I want to ask you about my connection with dragons that has been coming up pretty recently.
Oh, perfect timing, Katie. Visually, honey, you've been nurturing the dragon. You've been taking care of the dragon. You make sure the dragon is fine. But right now, it's time, like the Avatar, to get on the dragon and start steering that dragon. Okay, honey. Okay. We've got to do something. We've got to start turning and giving to Mother Earth. And boy, a dragon, as I'm saying, it's time for the rising phoenix, the dragon, the time of power to change and move. And if you've got a little dragon there, or a big dragon, or whoever your dragon is, you know, let it out of the cage and then hop on it and ride with that dragon, because that dragon is about moving things through, changing things through. And if you're on top of it, you're going to bring that special energy about that. You're going to bring yourself to the front of this expression of change through the dragon. The dragon is only going to follow you, okay? Mm-hmm. So you make sure you're on it. You're with it.
Yeah. Wonderful. I
don't know where that's
beautiful.
From.
I love it. All right. Let us get next caller, shall we?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Big hug, Katie. Let's see. We're going through here, cycling through. Hi, you're on air. Who is this? Hello.
Oh, hi, it's Mitchie. How are you guys?
Mitchie, hello. Hello. How was your trip?
Oh, it was good. It was good, actually, because it was unexpected. I wasn't supposed to be in L.A. I was supposed to be back home. So the weather was nicer. There was a big storm back home. So I took advantage of the nice weather, did my nails, had some good food.
Nice.
Yes.
What can we call you, Misty?
Mitchie. Yes.
Mitchie. Okay.
Yeah. So, okay, I have a question for you. So the thing is, I kind of impulsively went on a dating website.
Okay.
And I'm not necessarily ready for it. I do want it eventually, but I kind of went on just to be curious, and then I kind of started talking to some folks, and I'm wondering, should I continue? Should I pursue these conversations? Like one person, this one gentleman actually said, well, because eventually I said, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for this. Let me get off the site. But I didn't. But then he said, okay, let's just keep in touch with phone numbers. And I did, but I haven't talked to him yet. Should I pursue this, or should I just wait?
No, you want to, so why not?
Yeah.
I want to, and then I feel like I do want to inside of me, I do, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to go through the trouble of doing my hair, of looking pretty, and being all the effort that it takes today.
Oh, please, that's all old paradigm, honey. That's old paradigm. If you're going to get a guy, that guy's got to be as intelligent as you are. It's got to be a challenge. Yeah. It's got to be somewhere you can learn from, and he can learn from you, and that kind of thing. If that's stimulated in your search, you go for it. If it's not, if you're asking for a guy because he wants to see how you're made up, well, honey, please leave him at the curb and go on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not about what the package looks like. It's what's inside of you. And what's inside of you is you are a warrior. You're a warrior, woman, and get on with it. You need to know, I'm telling you, it's time to move, and this time to move it. And this is the time. This is the winter solstice. This is the time to get into that warrior mode. Get your warrior mode on and bring in someone if you need a partner through this. Definitely. We all do. We all need help, and we all need connection with each other. You bring that in if you have an opportunity.
Yeah.
Wow.
I met him. You knew him, Matthew. I met a really great guy that I don't know, we were together 4 years, maybe 5. But I met him at the gym. I was working out sweaty. I wasn't even thinking about someone. He came up and talked to me, and then I remember he was walking back, and I was doing something, lifting the machine with the arms, and then I saw him. I thought, Michelle, Dodo, dummy, he's cute. Respond. I was like, my music on, my earbuds. I'm like, lift. Hi. Oh yeah. He said something. Okay, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Come on. So just play with it, like Paul's saying, and just even if you're back and forth. Do I want to? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. That's where you are. That's the process. You don't have to jump into anything. You can just feel it out and let it unfold and just have fun. By the way, when Pluto goes in Aquarius, that's going to be for a lot of people too, this lightening up and community and getting out there and socializing. Aquarius is a very social sign. And it can be very inward as well, and they're very individualistic, but it's one of the air signs that really likes community and groups and usually has a wide either network of people and or friends that they connect with. So I feel like a lot of people are going to start getting the call to kind of, again, initiate, reach out, test it out. We don't, that old paradigm, like Paul, you were saying in the past, of like, I have to be totally ready or not ready or this or that. There's going to be a lot of exploring, a lot of, hazy areas that we just have to kind of reach out to and explore through, right? Oh, I love it, Mitchie.
Yeah, you're right.
Posted. Come on.
I will. You're right. There's a lot of back and forth. Thank you. I'm so grateful that I got through with Paolo. I love when you're there. Thank you so much, guys.
Oh,
you're welcome.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Love. Take care. Bye.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's see who we got. We're going into overtime. Sue is in the house now. Can I get a reading? Sue is saying, anything happening? Okay, Sue. Let's see who we got now. 514-510. Let's see. Here we go. 303. Let's see how long we can take this. We got at least maybe another half hour.
All right.
Call in number 347-539-5122. Well, sometimes we go over, Paulo. 131, 140. Who is this on the phone line? The phony line. Who's here on the phonies?
I think that might be me. Is this me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi. Who is this? Yes. Who is it?
Hi. Happy solstice. Allison.
Yes.
Allison. Hi, Allison. It is you. Hi. Welcome.
It is. Okay. Thank you.
What's your question?
What is my question?
What is?
Boy, I'm kind of. There's a lot happening in my life right now. In the next few months, just the process of the house that I rent has just been sold, and I haven't even met the new owners yet. But that's going to be next week, and we have a lot of things to work out about discussions and so on. They do want to keep it as a rental, though. They will not be moving in. That much has been established. But there are things to negotiate, like the rent and so on. I'm retired. I'm on a fixed income, so I don't have a lot of wiggle room here. I guess I might, let me see, my lease is good until the end of April. I do astrology, so that's a bad time to sign something. So anyway, I would try to sign it. Anyway, there's a lot of variables here. Just don't know if we're going to be able to negotiate, because there definitely will be an increase. That is a given. Just wondering if there's going to be a midpoint between us so that I can stay and they will feel like they are getting the money that they want.
Wow. Wow.
Okay. And that's just the beginning of my life right there. Okay. There's a whole lot more, but that's the most pressing one because there's a lot of things that hinge on this, process. A lot of things hinging on that. A lot.
Okay.
Not even going to touch that. Not even going to poke that bear.
What?
Okay, let's see. So you want to be able to stay where you are and for a bit and kind of...
And take care of a whole lot of things that need to be taken care of,
you're gonna be a little crampy, but I feel like you'll be able to. You're gonna have a lot of stuff to get through. Well, there might be timing. You might have to. I say start now, whatever it is you want to do, and don't worry about the other. Probably in Paolo's words, it could be that there's just a lot to get done, a lot to do within a short period of time, and you have to navigate that. It is showing on one level that there's... Go ahead.
No, I'm not really sure what you're referring to, like what time period you're referring to, or the question is very focused on just, sort of again, whether, the new owners and I will be able to negotiate a midpoint financially such that I can stay, and therefore...
No, but see, you're saying it's very simple, but it's not, Allison, because you've got a lot of moving parts. So that's why the answer psychically I'm giving you is this, because you may be able to work out something financially, but the midpoint could change, or the move-out point, or the move-in point. It does show cooperation, but you're going to kind of have to work for it. You may not get able to get all of the pieces exactly lined up,
right.
This person may want to get rid of the property or get someone else in at a sooner time. So that's why I'm saying I would just say start the negotiation, start the other things that you have to do kind of in good faith. Because it's not everything. Yes, you get everything lines up, and that's it. There are some things that you have to work through or negotiate, and it's not just one negotiation. Okay, so there's a few negotiations here, is what I'm hearing and seeing.
Well, they have stated they want to have me stay. They have stated that they're not planning on moving in. They want me to just want to carry on with a lease.
Right, that's why I said it seems like you'll be able to stay. Yes, that's why I said in the beginning of the reading it looks like you'll be able to stay. There's not a problem with that and then move.
Okay.
But there's other stuff you need to negotiate. You need to navigate through and negotiate.
Yes.
So you had a lot of ingredients in your question. So that I'm done with that. If Paolo has anything to add, otherwise we're going to move to the next person. Anybody?
That's great. That's it. You got it.
Okay, cool. Cool.
Well, all
right, Allison, keep listening.
I would like to have...
We gotta go. We got other. Let's see. We got.
Yeah.
Hi, you're on air. Who's on?
Thank you. Hi.
Who is it?
It's Charlene.
Hey, Charlene. Welcome.
Thank
to the
you.
Podcast. You're on. Beautiful voice.
Thank you. Well, you'll probably. Well, no, I'll be quiet. Go ahead.
What?
I was going to say, I work as an intuitive. I work as a healer, and I'm just getting ready to jump into my whole reason being here. Sorry?
Oh, you can feel that energy through you. Yeah.
Sound and colors.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
I need that love. I appreciate it.
I feel it. Yeah. Wow. Beautiful energy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How can we help you?
So, Yeah.
It's such a loaded amount. Let's. So my son is my biggest concern at the moment, and then of course, sorry.
Yeah, I could feel that, your son.
Yeah. And he's like I am with it's so significant, and I apologize for the overindulgence in my emotions. My mom passed in September.
No,
Okay.
You're not overindulging in the emotions. It's beautiful. Yeah.
My father. I'm looking after my father, but I need to get home. I'm 500 miles away from home. My son has a brain injury, and he's okay, but I'm deeply concerned about anything awful happening with him. There will be money concerns, leaving my dad here. I can't. So help.
Yeah.
And any info that you can give.
I'm going to give you something to do right away with your son, okay? Mm-hmm. You'll find a photograph of the son you love and know, and find that photograph where he is so in his power, so in his joy, so in his laughter, the son you really know, the healthy son you really know, okay?
Okay.
You find that photograph, right? And you place it in anywhere, in your wallet, anywhere you can have it, that you can bring it out and look at your son, and you start talking to that healthy boy of yours. Okay. You don't talk to what the situation is now around it. You talk to your healthy, loving boy, because his heart and his soul receive that love. Okay?
Okay.
And believe me, you will see a lot. And he will feel that, and that will help him get through and get out.
Okay.
Come back to you.
Okay.
Wow. The other thing I want to say, Charlene, expect unexpected help and support. Now, this can also be down the road financially, someone helping you navigate through this. I feel it could even be someone from the past or you've been a little out of touch with or estranged, or it could be around the family. But it does show that you are drawing in further support and help. It might even be like a GoFundMe or something like that. But it does show a cushion coming in, and it does show someone helping you or navigating, organizing things, paperwork. There could be some legal stuff or legal dealings. There is going to be support, some type of support. I don't know if it's actually legal as well. It does show that coming up for you.
Okay, well, there's an inheritance that's just finishing up that we should be getting the checks for that shortly.
Oh, there it is.
Money,
there. Yeah.
Money is definitely a concern, but it's more if I have to pay somebody to look after Dad, because I have power of attorney, but he's not necessarily willing to go to the bank and do it. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, you might, but I would say not to work, because what I said psychically just confirmed. The money is going to be there. There is support. There's attorneys, but I feel like there could be a guardian, conservatorship, or someone that comes in, daily or help. The help is going to be there. So the money, everything is coming in at the right time. It may even be a neighbor or somebody that says, I can check on them, or family member that gets paid a small amount. You can have friends or family members take care of, and they get a small amount from the government if you're in the United States. Because I know people that have had that done, whether it's a neighbor, a friend, or one of them it was their wife. It's actually easier to have a friend or neighbor, someone that you trust, do it rather than a family member, but it's not impossible to have like a spouse. It's easier with extended family members or friends of you or the family, and they get a certain amount of money for taking care of, or doing certain things for the person. So no, you're very protected and guided. It's just, I know it's stressy. There's a lot going on, but it does show the support is coming in financially and through some kind of assistance.
Okay.
Yeah, and also
right,
I'd like
Charlie.
to address one more thing, that you've been pretty much carrying the universe. Okay, you've been really working hard ever since birth. All right? It's time to just trust what you put out there and let the universe help you, okay? Just trust. and let somebody else take reins. You concentrate on your little boy. Your father's going to be fine. Your father's going to be. That'll all work out. Okay.
Okay.
All right, honey.
Beautiful.
Thanks, you guys.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Big hug, Charlene. Big hug.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Oh, here we got one more. Hey, you're on air.
Hello, it's Sue. I'm calling in.
Sue. Yay, calling in.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yeah, happy holidays to you.
Now, I've got two big things coming up, and I was wondering if you guys can pick up. I think one's going to be good. The other is my mom's transitioning, and it's been really hard and busy for me taking care of her. Yeah. So I was like, are we going to see, a clearing sometime after the first of the year?
Okay. What does that mean? Like clearing up stuff or what? Energy? What?
Well, a rest for me.
Name it, Sue.
It's what
a rest.
I need a rest. A rest.
You need
because you probably can feel how stressed out I am and how buried I feel. And it's just kind of like meditations are really hard right now. And I don't know if it's because of the energies coming in or if it's me and being where I'm at, trying to please everybody right now.
Yeah, that's it.
I think it's that, right? And you might need to do walking meditation or different types of meditation, not doing the same thing because that gets kind of dry or boring for the soul, But don't you? I do feel doing more for yourself. That's also the message of Jupiter and Aries.
Yeah, I would love it if I could just kind of be by myself for about a week. And I don't know if I'm going to see clear of that to do that. And I was hoping maybe in January.
Okay. So don't try to plan these rest things. Don't try to plan them like having a week here and a week there. Just take each moment and expand it. If you start doing that, you're building energy into that, what your soul is asking and what you need to receive. So it's like if we put all our energy in the beginning, we put it all in churches, and that was the tallest of the buildings in a village. Now we're putting it all in and they're the tallest. Well, you put your energy every moment you get into you about resting and what you need and what your body needs. You start doing that. Whether it's 10 minutes that day, 20 minutes the next day, it will start building. You will start putting in a bank of energy for Sue. You need to build the Sue. The account's empty.
When you started saying that, I remember last week when I said the expansion of essence in the middle of the breath. We were talking about the breath and the pause. And that's what I saw when you're the pause in the middle of the breath and the expansion of your essence. I think that's where I need to go, and that was a reminder when you started talking about that. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So I need to keep that in a focus on my mind.
Yeah.
And that'll expand that.
Yes, because your mind is dealing with issues that are overwhelming. And your mind says, "Oh, I don't know how you're going to get through this. I don't know how, and you've got to say, okay, that's nice, mind. Thank you for your information. But but I'm taking this time to give to me, to Sue. Okay, we got to get into that bottom essence, as you're saying, the expansion.
Yeah,
and perfect.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Thank you for bringing me back to center, guys.
You're welcome.
Starting to get scared there or worried that meditation was so easy before. I could just shut my eyes and go, but right now it's really tough. Really, really tough.
It is.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
You're welcome. Big
Happy
hug.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy solstice.
Happy solstice. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
Let's see. We could cycle through. Anybody else have it? If you've got your... I think you did this one already. Let's see. Did we get... Hi, you're on air.
You already did me.
Okay, great. For listening. Okay. Hi, you're on air. Hello. Okay, goodbye.
Nope.
Let's see, maybe these are... Hi, you're on air. Hello. Okay, I guess we're good to go. Good to go. Any questions in the chat?
Okay.
In the chat. Wow, this is good. Clear Star, any chance of me being able to get in? I'm 604. I think we did. Did we get you in? I think we did, right? Clear Star, I think we got you in, right? Was that? I think we got you in. Yeah, I put in another Instagram. By the way, if you haven't, I'd love to have you guys follow me on Instagram, connect in. I did do in the stories that we were going into overtime. And Paolo is also on Instagram. I'm on Instagram at Michele Meiche. You can just, my name. Let's see. I want to make sure we got in everybody. I think we did get Clear Star. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I think we did. I think we're good to go. Wow, Paolo, what energy. Love it.
Yeah.
You can definitely feel the portal open and opening. I think we opened it even more, everyone here joining in, and those that are listening later are here in consciousness already. So definitely yeah, right?
Yeah. I came to shake it up.
You did. You know, I think too that that initiating energy that you have is your rising or moon is in Aries, so you would really understand this energy too. I'm not sure which one.
Rising is Aries, right?
Rising. Oh, I love it. Now, see the rising. Oh, I have to share something with everyone, and it ties in with the rising. I've been saying for the last few years, my research, I've been delving into different aspects of astrology, and I've really come away, I haven't been an astrologer for, 25 plus years, but coming at a different angle, I've really been seeing the importance of the moon for our essence. That really is the soul, because it's the emotions, the energy in motion. It's like the deeper part of us, but also the rising, the ascendant. Because a lot of people think the ascendant is just how people see us, but it's not just a mirror, it's a window, it's a lens. The ascendant is how we navigate through this earth plane, how we see the world also, right? So when you said, which is very Aries, when you said needs are taken care of, I focus, what did you say? I focus on what I want or what I want to create, what I want to share.
My passion,
Your passion, yes. You said your passion.
Yes.
I love that. I love you saying that. That's a good takeaway for me. That is very Aries, because Aries is fire. It's the fire that the spark that comes from the fire, the big fire of spirit, and that spark starts another fire. But Aries usually goes and does what it really wants to do, or sees those openings or opportunities, and at least initiates or at least reaches out. It's the first one to say, I want that, or I want to try that. So, Aries rising, please give us, as we wind out from this podcast episode, to be continued, of course, what's some Aries way to navigate and see things or opportunities or life or the earth?
Okay, that's it. The earth and all these opportunities are going to be here. That's it, and challenges and all of that. But basically what I say is give gratitude to yourself. Love yourself. And when you get to that place, it's going to say, okay, I'm here. I'm loving who I am. What can I give? What's the most powerful way I can express myself and be cohabited or co-created with my passion? How can I express myself in the best, strongest way and keep moving on and just keep moving on with that? The rest of that kind of story is your mind and your monkey mind and all of that will keep you. It will deter you. So you just listen to that. Don't try to hush it. Don't try to get rid of it. It's part of you. But you say, okay, I appreciate that part of me, but I'm moving on. I'm moving on with my passion, and I'm moving on with my strength and love for myself and for this planet and for the universe. That's how I do it. Yeah, you know.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a great, that's a great lens for navigation, and that's what we're being asked, is exactly what we're all being asked to do.
Right.
You know, I said it earlier in the podcast, we've got to insert ourselves. We've been taught not to insert ourselves, and Aries always does, you know, and I would say it's centered in self. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love that.
So don't allow that passion. Don't hide from it. Embrace it, and it's who you are. Be who you are. There was one quote I heard from some television program where they said, if I really saw the incredible brightness and power of you, I wouldn't be able to look at you. You would be so bright. I am not going to shun my light because of you. I'm going to shine my brightness just right with you. And that brightness will bring us through. That's going to bring us through. That power, no one can take. You know, Notaki Shange said, a poet from the 50s, 60s, 70s, I don't remember, but she said, you can't have my stuff. You can take literally everything from me, but my soul and my light of spirit, you're never going to touch that. That's not yours. It's mine. And I'm the caretaker of that. I allow what I allow in life. I allow these opportunities of being stressed, being hurtful, being wounded, whatever that is, I'm allowing that in. And it's not that, it's how I come back. Aries says, well, it's not that you stumbled and hurt your toe. What are you going to do tomorrow? How are you going to walk tomorrow from that? How are you going to get back up? Mm-hmm. And this is the winter solstice. This is the time the phoenix rises. So take your issues, take whatever you think is keeping you from whatever, yourself, your light, and move through. Join it, embrace it, and let's co-create this planet into the planet it needs to be. Mother Earth is calling us to do that. The universe is calling us to do that. Let's just do it.
Yeah. And Ari, I'm reminded too. It's ruled by Mars. It's action. It's again asserting action. It's the warrior. It's the physicality. We're all, we had all these different religions and beliefs and doctrines, and some of the best of them. But it was all about getting out of the body, out of the body, out of the body. And with Aries and also Taurus is about the body. It's about Earth and the physical body. Manifested form. It's right. Taurus. Yeah, as a Taurus. I think we got one last. Let's see if we can sneak one in here.
All right. Okay.
As we're chatting along. Hi. Did you get on? Hi, you're on air. Hi.
Hi, this is Sun. How are you?
Sun? Hi, Sun.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
I know, right? Did you have a question or comment?
So I'm dealing with deception at the household and trying to just do my own thing, but there's a lot of stuff around me that I have to deal with every day.
Yeah, well.
So I'm trying to move through
join
that.
The crowd, honey. Join the crowd. Okay. Yeah. So how are you faring through? How are you nurturing yourself?
I'm fine until I let it get to me. It could be things missing, things that were taken, thrown away, and I tried to let it all go because nobody would admit to anything, and just when I think I'm over it, it comes sneaking back, and emotions, anger, frustration, but I don't take it out on anyone because nobody's admitted to anything.
So what can I
difficult.
What can I help you with? What can Michelle and I help you with?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to find some peace. And like you said, I'm doing my own thing, and I want to continue to live in peace and harmony.
Okay. And believe me, you're the gatekeeper, honey. You're the gatekeeper of that.
Yeah.
So whatever this is, that's the situation. You cannot allow all that. The quote I love from I think it was Gandhi, who said, "Do not let a Buddha or any enlightened being or any being walk through your mind with dirty feet." Okay? And you're an empathetic. I feel that you feel things. You let them in, these feelings. And I don't understand a lot of times why we do that. So I think you need to look at that as, why are you letting that in, you see? Why do you continue to let that in? You can let it in at the surface, but don't let it into your soul. Don't let it become part of you. Don't own it.
Right.
It's not you.
Yeah.
If it's not you, then it's easy. You think of it as a tsetse fly, and you're flicking it off your shoulder, like a test. That's how I do it. These issues in the world, I look at them as like, they're dog barking, and okay, let the dog bark. But I'm going to continue to, go on my way.
Exactly. Right.
I look at things, and I think that's how you need to look at things. That don't let them into your heart. You're the keeper of it. If you let in the negativity and you let in the positivity, that's what you're doing. So realize you're the owner of that. You're the gatekeeper of that. Let in the light. Let in the love. Find the love you need if it's not enough. You find it through others. Find it in this. We're all here to help. We're all here on this planet to help. It's a power. Tune into that. Tune into the love I'm sending you right now. I'm holding your heart because your heart is breaking. Your heart is breaking because of the treatment. This world is changing. George Washington, the Beatle guy, whatever George was, the Beatle guy, George Harrison said before he died, he said, this world is changing, and he said, I am not able to play in it, to give my love to it, and he died.
Wow.
And he has a video out about that, and I believe that's true. There's some of us that are not able to play in this game. So don't let it take you. Don't let it. As long as you've got 2 feet and breath in your lungs, you become you. You share your love. You share your life. And you go on being who you are. And let that other things fall off like dandruff.
Yeah. The other thing that helps, and it goes into the self-care and what you're doing for you, is acceptance of what is. If something is a certain way, you've seen you're not able to change it, and if you need to be in that environment for the hopefully short term, you can start making provisions. Then do what you need to have more peace and more safety in your environment, whatever that means. Taking those measures, like it is what it is. This is the environment. This is how it is. This is what I need to do, and that will connect you to that inner peace inside. And you'll feel that inner connection as you're taking care of yourself. All right, sweetie. Well, thank you for being here, and I hope to connect with you again. We're here every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Take good care, son, okay? Big hug.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome. Wow. Well, I'm glad we waited a bit to connect with her as well. Yeah. All right, Paolo. I'm putting the replay up so people can listen to the replay. There'll be a link in the Instagram stories. And, of course, for those of you catching it, Spotify, Apple, what else? Google Play, TuneIn Radio. Anyway, all the podcast platforms. People will be able to re-listen, even if you weren't hearing it now. Yeah. Well, let people... Okay, so...
to be on today with the solstice. Thank you. That's a big gift.
Oh, thank you. Well, it just turned out that way. It was a Wednesday and the 21st. I didn't even realize. I was like, oh, my God, we're going to have this on the solstice. And I just from yesterday to today, I just feel such a huge shift. It's amazing.
Yeah.
This is all of a sudden this opening,
right.
And a lot of more clarity coming in Not without the delays, and that has to be okay. The delays, the setbacks, and tomorrow could be another day. There could be setbacks and delays, and but
and it will.
Right now, it will, right? But right now, in this moment, that's what I'm focusing on right now. And just kind of aligning with that flow, what it is. I mean, it's just, we are creating, and I think Lynn had put in the chat, but it is this different type of human. I say it's the soul, because eventually, we have human, because we have human existence, but we're really going to be living as soul beings, not just human beings, but the full fusion of the soul, right? Woo!
I know, this human thing has gone too far. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's been this interesting limitation, but it's the human aspect, the meat body, the human is such a small part. It's like, it's infinitesimal. Less than an eighth of us.
It really
it's such a small part, right?
And the models are getting outdated, right? I mean, please.
Yeah.
We can't repair these models anymore. You just have to get through it. Yeah, you have to. It's a time to arise and realize you're not prisoned by this bodysuit. That's not it.
Exactly.
That's not
Yeah.
And
well,
with the
in the old model, right? And right, Paulo, in the old model, and what so many people got taught and thought, I even heard someone say it the other day, your soul is in your body, and I'm like, no, the body is so small. It's once we start realizing that this is just like a little puppet, a hand puppet, or what is a puppet with the strings, or an avatar. It's an emoji.
Right.
This denser part, this little part is like, it's an avatar, it's an emoji, it's an icon. There's so many.
Right. That's right.
And everybody, and no wonder people get scared and freaked out, because you think all of this spirit, everything's poured in the body, and it's like, it's reversed.
Yeah.
And that's been the lie. That's how.
That's been the lie.
We're writing down the history. That was the game. That was the old game. I get it. We bought into it. We played. We contributed. But that was also that old narrative to keep that fear level, so high.
Feeding it and keep feeding it. Yes.
Right. I mean, I'd be fearful too if I thought everything in me is just within the parameters of my physical body. Oh my God.
I know, right?
That is a scary thought.
It is. It really is. And if everybody thought that this vessel is going to not continue, you're right. But guess what? You are going to continue, and that is your soul, and that is this universal soul. We are all part of that, and that's always going to continue. It will. It will always.
It will always continue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cheers to that, infinite source energies, this mortal coil that goes on and on and on. Paulo, to be continued. Let people know where and how they can get in touch with you. And
Ancient Bling is my site. What I do is I create jewelry that will protect you. Like Wonder Woman needs her tools. We all need our tools now, honey.
Yeah.
We need our sacred thing. We need our sacredness to come back. We need to understand that this is all sacred ritual, and we need to know that. And we need our tools to express that. I mean, look at all the opportunities we have to express who we are. Use them. Work with them. Be creative with them, and let them be an extension of who you are and your power. It's time. It is time. Let this solstice be the beginning for you to express that. And I create jewelry for that. I do beading. I've been beading since 40 years now, and every bead is a prayer. Every bead is a mantra of love and support. That's what you will get in my stuff. You will get this inner mantra. Each bead is a prayer. And that is what creation is, and that is what I'm about.
Beautiful. Oh, Paulo, been inspirational. It's been inspiring and just really fun as well. So thanks for being here. Until next time.
Okay.
See you.
Thank you.
Big hug.
All right.
Thank you.
Big hug. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. Until next time, keep shining that bright light of yours. Share your insights, and, of course, keep awake. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for co-creating this. I love how we went over. It was so fun. Paolo Dioro, I put him on Instagram, too. He's in my stories. If you go Paolo Doro Maui. But if you go to my Instagram stories, you can just click on the link. It'll take you to his page. I did a post of his quote, "Give gratitude to yourself. I'm loving who I am. What's the most powerful way I can express myself with my passion?" That's the Aries way. Jupiter and Aries. Happy winter solstice. Love and light to all of you. Thank you all for being here. I feel so much appreciation and gratitude for all of you co-creating this experience, all that we're doing here together as a community, and all that you're doing individually. Big hug. Lots of love and light.
Awakenings broadcast every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Pacific Time. Archive shows available on iTunes. For continued awakened conversations and insights, join the Awakenings group on Facebook. And check out Michelle's blog at soulplayground.com. And keep awake.